All right, good morning, traders. I hope that I have my streaming issues under control. We've got a brand new computer that is dedicated only to the stream. Let's see if that works. Anyway, so let's get started here. It was sort of a uneventful evening from what I can tell here. I did take a quick little 1-point trade. Let's see, it was on this big drop over here. This drop here, this is on the 3-minute. Let's look at the 1 minute. All right, what do we have here? All right, okay, yeah, so right here you can see the arrow. We had a nice steady drop, orderly pullback. Once it hit the 9 EMA, waited for it to reject, took it a tick below this bar, and pre-market with a, let me see what we got here. Yeah, the ATR is like 1.35, so I didn't even dare go for 5 points. I only took 1 point. I probably could have got about 3 out of it, but pre-market like that, I'm happy with 1 point, and that was over 3 accounts, so $150. I will take that, especially because who knows what today's going to look like. It's very, very choppy, so I really don't know what if we're even going to take a trade. If it keeps up like this, then that may be it for today. So $150, I'll take it. All right, so let's just straighten things out here. I've moved things around a little bit, added a 3-minute chart with some additional indicators. This is something that I've done in the past where we just have some volume pattern here so we can get the idea of where some low volume nodes are. Sometimes can help where to get out of a trade, or whether, that tends to reject these low volume nodes until it doesn't. And also gives us value area high and low, and value area right there. Got some volume up and down, and then of course MACD. None of them particularly useful on their own, but maybe they can help with our normal trade here. If it weren't so close to the open, we might be able to play this breakout here, but who knows once the market opens. Also, there is news, believe it or not, at 9:45. The news is, let me see here, Tuesday, 9:45, Flash Services PMI. Theoretically a high impact news right 15 minutes after the market opens. So since I don't really even care to trade the first 10 or 15 minutes, so we're gonna have to wait for that probably before we even get into a trade. But yeah, this is not a bad spot for perhaps a breakout. Watch it take off from there. If anybody sees any abnormalities of my stream, please throw that into the chat box, because I think I was talking for a very long time last Friday before one of the listeners pointed out that the screens were frozen. I do have an actual live stream screen opened so I can see it, but a lot of times I'm not paying attention to it. Yeah, I think this has a pretty good chance of maybe taking off on the open. You probably could pick up, like anywhere in here. Now that we're above the 20 EMA, I forgot what I put this. This is the 50, I think. 51, yeah. So that's the 51 EMA. So maybe we can get a, if we went in here, maybe we get a shoot up to here and beyond. Seems to be respecting the 50 overnight. But we do have this low value area. Low volume node right here, low volume area. So sometimes it has a problem getting through that. That's a pretty decent source of at least short-term support or resistance. And then when it goes through it, it can move pretty quickly. But we'll see. Market's going to open up in about 45 seconds. I don't know how reliable this box is either. As you probably know, a lot of times this will be a perfect setup for a trap. Gives you the illusion that we're going higher and then just snaps back. Captures all these longs and takes them short. Look how choppy this is here. Market is now open. Yeah, see, it went exactly the opposite direction. You can see volume building here. But we're right back in this range again. But we'll see, this could even be the trap. When you get into all this chop, at least I can't tell what's going to happen. You know, which is the trap? Was this the trap and they took it down, or is this the trap and they're going to take it long? Trying to trap in some shorts here and then take off to the upside. Let's just watch it for a while. Yeah, unfortunately, I think we're going to end up having to wait for these numbers at 9:45 before we can do anything. And we're still chopping right in this area. So far, I'm glad I took that small 1-point trade on the 3 accounts earlier, because right now we got nothing. Even a breakout I wouldn't want to be involved in because of the news coming up in 12, 13 minutes. Slight breakout to the top of this channel. Didn't quite make it to the 50 EMA, 51 EMA. Take a quick look at what the NQ is doing. That's the 1 minute NASDAQ here, NQ. It pushed up pretty good on the open. Let's go back to the 1 minute on the S&P. Yeah, similar movement on the NQ and the ES. I assume a lot of this chop has to do with those numbers coming out at 9:45. Traders not wanting to commit one way or another. But these are pretty decent moves. I mean, you know, here's a played off the 50. How big of a move was this? Yeah, it's already a 6.5 point move. So if you were brave enough to take that, you would have made some money. But we're trying to maximize our odds. You know, we're not trying to just just trade 100 times a day. But actually, if you're working on an eval, you can take some of those because you're not. If it blows up, especially if you've taken like Apex just finished up their 80% off sale where you could have had a lifetime 80% off, and if you blow up the account, you can just wait until the next month and it will renew itself at the 80% off, and then you start at zero again. I wouldn't recommend spending the $80 renewal if you already have the 80% off, but now we've got 50% off, so if you want to use my my code. Whoa, what is this music? It was like church music or something. Funeral. Oh my gosh, what is going on here? Wow. We're regressing back to Christmas. I hope that's not setting the mood for the rest of this day. Are we still streaming? Yeah, it looks like we're okay. Yeah, we are just stuck in this little range here until these numbers come out, and then we'll see what happens. It's only another 8 minutes or so. Want to make sure I wasn't on some kind of Christmas channel. Oh, now we actually broke out to the downside. Down at value area low, making new lows. Getting down, if this channel has any value, I've only got 2 touches on it, so yeah, I guess you could count these as a few touches, but a lot of wicks. But we're getting down to the bottom of this channel, and we're at value area low. It bounced. Pretty good movement here. There's no way I want to get stuck in a trade going into this news, though. think I'm gonna take this chance to go get another cup of coffee, so I will be right back. All right, I'm back. So again, still chopping in that range that we identified, and the news is coming up in about 3 minutes. So we're going to wait for that and see what we see. Let me get rid of that sign there. All right. See, all the activity is taking place right around this volume node here. Everybody just waiting for the news in a minute and a half. Yesterday I traded an eval on a company called Bull, and I forgot that I'd even had it. Somebody had posted a code, man, I think it was back in December, for 90% off on these Bullinox accounts. I think it was 92 or 93%, whatever it was like a $15 for a 50K account. And I forgot that I bought it, and I noticed that it was going to be renewing at the end of the week. So I'm like, well, what the heck? Well, that's my little alert that news is coming up. Anyway, so I thought, well, what the heck? It's going to renew. Even if I blow it up, I might as well do a Hail Mary. And yesterday was such a strong uptrend that I waited for a setup, went in with 5 contracts and just let it ride, and it just went straight up and managed to finish the account with 1 trade. I mean, that was not what I would call a strategy per se, but it was. I would never do that with a funded account, but it worked out pretty good, and it could have just as easily turned around, especially with that trailing. It has a trailing drawdown, so even if I was up 2,000 and it reversed, I would have gotten screwed. It's not like it went up $2,000 and now I have $4,500 in drawdown. You still have the same 2,500. It's following you up. It's kind of a high watermark. So if it would have reversed, it could have easily blown up the account. There's the news. And it's basically still just chopping around in the same range. Anyway, so bottom line to that story is that I actually now have a funded account. Well, sort of. The problem is that you need to trade 10 days, and that was, I think I had traded it once or twice, so I still have to put in these micro trades every day in order to get my 10 days in, and then it will be a funded account. But that's not bad. It was like $15 to get a 50K account with Bullinox. Yeah, really nothing other than a little quicker movement. It's still chopping around the same area. I don't suppose it's a surprise that we're getting all this chop anyway, just because of that movement from yesterday. I think that we can agree that after a massive move like yesterday, either if it were to the upside or the downside, the next day tends to be a little choppy as people sort of have a hangover from it. Maybe they made so much money that they don't even need to trade today. We could take a look at what those numbers were. Let me pull them up here. Okay, let's see here. 845, flash services. Let's see. Actually up. And it looks like so is the stock market now. Anyway, the numbers were 46.7. Expected was 45.4. So I believe that means that was an increase in manufacturing, I guess. You can see that once it left this high volume area, and it'll move pretty quickly through here to the next volume area, and that's exactly what it did. Let it settle down, and we can start thinking about real trades. Maybe we'll wait for a pullback here and see if we can get something here. And go back to my 1 minute. Maybe we'll wait for a pullback, see if we can ride this thing back up into the 30s maybe. Who knows? We do have a pivot point here. Next pivot is pretty high. Like to see a pullback here. Take a look at the 2000 tick. That double top here looks... Yeah, we have a double top here, and actually if we look to the left, this was an area of supply, I guess. Well, right now it's an area of supply. This area right here. So shouldn't be surprised that it reversed off of this. The question is, do we want to take it long back into it? Yeah, that's the 200. Wow, look at all those bunched up together. Yeah, this is where I should have went long right there. That high there is 23, so 23 and a quarter. Should we take it? Let's go ahead and take that. We'll keep a tight stop on it.
It is.
We might have missed it. Got my order in too late, I think. I'm hoping to get in on a pullback here because I think this is going to go off to the 30s. All right, we're in this. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we won't get stopped out. That's a 3-point stop. We'll just leave it there and take our wound if it doesn't work. I'm hoping it's going to break above this, but it may just reverse. I think this might break out to the 30s if we can get above this high water mark here. Once we break above here, I'll put my stop at break even, see what happens. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go to break even +1. We'll see what happens. Yeah, it's having trouble in this area right here. I'd like to see it push to 30, but it's having some trouble. Gonna get my... Just watching. Got my finger on the flatten button in case I think this is gonna stall. It's looking pretty good. There we go.
Target
there we
filled.
go. That was a nice trade. That scored us about $250 across 3 accounts. That was $750. Happy with that. It's probably going to keep going, but I will take my 5 points and run. Good way to start the day. So total, yeah, I can pull it up here. All right. There's the profit today. Oh, actually, I thought that last account. Oh, I've got that one set to micros. So, unfortunately, that wasn't a 250. So we got about what, $630, $640, $650, something like that. Yeah, we could have held, maybe trailed it. Yeah, she's still moving. Not sure where. Let's see. Let's look to our left. So we do have a point here where there was a supply. If you see to where my cursor's at, there's a supply there. And that's kind of where bumping up against, I think. Yeah, there's a couple areas here. Let me use my rectangle tool. Rectangle. So something along these lines maybe. So if I would have set that up ahead of time, that probably would have been a good target, but I didn't. I was just looking for a straight 5-point gain. But now you see we've got a pretty good pullback. All right. It's 200 EMA. Something doesn't seem right about that. The 200 and the 21 are exactly at the same place. And the 9 is above the 200. It's quite a reversal. 11-point reversal there and counting. All right, well, we'll just sit and wait for our next setup now. I like to draw trend lines when I'm sitting on my hands to keep me from doing anything stupid. All right, so that was our trend up, break. I know that those price action guys like to talk about price action rules, and one of their rules is a break of a trend line will generally fail and it will result in a new high. But that is a pretty aggressive break. So this could just be part of a bigger trend, I suppose. That does fit, but that is huge. You can't really play that. I suppose if you wanted to buy and hold, and you could play it that way. The problem with big trends like that is the drawdown can be substantial. Certainly more than I am used to. Look at that 15-minute candle on the ES. Look at that thing. It's all wick. Actually, as I'm counting these candles here near our trade, this, I believe, I'm looking at that right, this is a second entry long above the 21. This would have been a better entry. Yeah, actually, that was it. Oh, I know what we did. We were looking at that and it took off without us, so I put this here hoping that we would have a pullback and put a limit order in here. That's right. So we did take that, and I wasn't paying attention to the fact that that actually is a second entry long. First pullback, second pullback. Away you go. Those are pretty effective, I have to admit. Now, this is intriguing right here now again. What am I? That's a 2000 tick though. Let's see here. Let's go back to the 1 minute. Yeah. Maybe we break below this, head down to 4,000. Yeah, maybe something down here. Let's see, a low bar here is 20, so maybe at 14. Wait, what is this? The low is 09, so 875. Let's see if we can get something out of that. Yeah, I don't know if I want to play the breakout.
Canceled.
I think that's what's going to happen. But this could easily pull through here and then reverse on us. You know, there's really not a lot here. Let me take a look to the left. Yeah, right in maybe here. Yeah, so maybe if it does break through here, we get through this area here. See to the left? Bunched up bars here. So if we get through there, I think it's a pretty good shot down to like here, like from maybe 06 to 4,000. 6 points. But yeah, we got some support here. Great. I was just talking with the mute button on. Sorry. What I was saying was this is the total for the day. Let me bring it up here. So 638.29 after commissions. The left, that is before commissions. It's starting to look awfully heavy here. But I see volume popping up in this area. I don't know. Plus we have this channel, potential channel, but this, if this is a good channel, then this overshoot is going to shoot out the bottom too. Now that we've rejected it, wonder if we're going to go down to 4,000 here. Okay, it looks like this channel is valid because it is rejecting it. Tend to want to wait for a pullback to this 9 EMA. Let's go back to my 1 minute. That's 2,000 tick chart. A pullback to this 20 EMA is intriguing. Right now it is a lower high. We've got some area here of supply. And if we could get a nice second entry short off of this 21 EMA, that's got some potential. Go back to my 1 minute, see, yeah, we still haven't made it up to the 9. Right now, this is making a nice pullback. This is starting to look good. This is intriguing. This bar is pretty big though. I wouldn't want to take it short here, but we'll see what this looks like. I'm not sure if the NAS is leading the ES or vice versa. Very similar. Seems like a decent short right here. Don't know why it's not going though. Just getting stuck there. Definitely would have gotten trapped there. Probably best to wait for a break below this trend here. Wow, that's really reversing pretty hard. Above the 21 EMA now, heading for the 105. I will be right back. I have to take a bio break. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Yeah, that's a little surprising. I actually thought that this would have been a good trade. I was hesitant just because of the price action hasn't really been as clear as you'd like to see it, but yeah, I would have thought that this would have been a good short right there. But you see, it would have filled us and immediately reversed. Just watching to see what's going to happen here. Getting a little choppy right in here. Let's take a look at our other charts. There's a 3-minute. Right back in that range that we spent the morning in. Going back to 7:30, so 8:30 Eastern. And look at that. Now we're starting to break out to the top. Yeah, wow. Yeah, I didn't expect any of that. Yeah, that is definitely a hell of a short squeeze here. Where's she gonna go? Well, what's going to happen? Are we just going to stick in a range here from top to bottom, or are we going to break out to the top? So now this range is starting to look something along these lines. We're right back in this low volume node here. At this moment, I don't see a reason to believe it's going to go one way or the other. I mean, right now it looks like a textbook range where we're going to start heading back to the bottom, but who knows? I guess if we break above this bar, maybe we've got some room to the upside. Take a look to the left. Yeah, maybe up to about 40. So maybe a breakout above here. Have some room from 30 to 40. Or we're just stuck in this range. But eventually it's going to go one way or the other, obviously. This is a pivot point just right where it's at. We're above all our averages and we're above the VWAP right now, so could come back here and test this for a while and then head up. Who knows? And NASDAQ pulling back too. Volume building here. Let's see if we make some move to the upside here. So I think we can. I think if we can break this, we'll move to 40, But then we run into this high here and this low, so a lot of activity right here. Oh, I don't know, something along these lines maybe. Sorry for all this movement of my chart, just trying to square things around here. All right, so maybe we wait for a breakout and take it from, I don't know, 31, 32 up to here, 40. Try to get 5 points out of that, so maybe 33 to 38. I think there's some room right in here for a trade. Or we'll just chop around here for an hour. This was a second entry long here on this bar, but we're below the 20 EMA. So far, it's a lower high, obviously. I personally wouldn't be brave enough to even take a long inside this blue box right now because I'm not convinced that this isn't just a big trading range. And we're ultimately going to head our way down to the bottom again once we break through these EMAs. You can see the EMAs are kind of flat here. They're just sort of cycling above and below. Obviously, we'd like to see our EMAs more slopey. Just kind of a little sine wave here. That's just mimicking the actual price action. For me, there's nothing to do in this area. It's just a chop fest. So to me, it's a coin flip which direction we're going at this point. Of course, that is the problem when you actually draw up like a zone like that. Is you're immediately biased that we're going to stay inside of it, but I think it's reasonable to just stay out of this until we break above or below. If we break below, once we get below this low here, you can see right up back to the left here we had a lot of chop where the market paused. So if we can get through that, we're probably good down to 4,000, but it doesn't leave us a lot of room, 5 points or something maximum. But yeah, we're still working our way down, perhaps to the bottom of this trading range. If you're just tuning in, we're up about 640 bucks, something like that. Here it is right here. That's one pre-market trade for a point, and then a 5-pointer this morning. Got about another half hour or so of the live stream, and probably not going to do anything until it breaks out of this range. There's a nice wick on this last bar. It rejected the breakthrough, the 21 and the 9 for that matter. But you can see how all these averages are bunching up for us, so it's hard to say what's going on here. Got both the 21, the 9, the, what is that? That's the 50, I think. Yeah, that's the 50, and VWAP all kind of bunched up here. And we're trading right in them. And we're having trouble getting through this low volume node again. Even if we look at the 15-minute, it's basically a big doji here. Could be that we're starting to develop more of a bullish bias here. These bottoms are, it's not going, we're getting some higher lows, some higher highs. Maybe right now it's just a wait, watch and wait. So once we break through here, maybe we'll see some more upside bias, but a little bit hesitant while we're still in this range. But it did fail to get down to the bottom again. But you can see to the left here, we've got a lot of activity in this little area here to break through, which is reflected by this high volume node. But it is rather narrow, so I think if we were to be able to break through it, we might be able to run. We also have a pivot point here. All these things are possible barriers to this run. I mean, just look at this price action. This is a 3-minute chart. Look at this is the 5-minute. I mean, look at this. It's just garbage. I mean, it's like almost no pattern. Yeah, the 1 minute. I mean, my goodness. Look at this. Choppy, choppy, choppy. Take a quick look at the oil. That's looking kind of choppy too, isn't it? That's crude oil. Not much better. Nice wick here, but we're still not running. That's an impressive bar, but now it's reversing off of it. Basically turning into a doji now. I'm tempted to play this breakout, but I'm a little bit afraid. Just because we've rejected the top of this basically, 1, 2, 3, 4 times already. But it holds until it doesn't hold. Now we're kind of stuck in this little volume area. Yeah, I think we're going higher here. I just feel like it'd be dumb to jump in before we broke some of these highs again. But by then it may be too late. Got all these big wicks. Let's go back to the 1 minute.
When the doors are closed, find me outside by the coast. It's what I love the
4020 is a point of support. You see we hit it here and then did it again from the bottom here. Yeah, we're pulling off it again. This is ugly, folks. I panicked. I thought I was on mute again. Well, I'm sorry it's such a boring stream today, but I am just not willing to jump into this. At this point, I'm willing to walk away with my $638 because this is just going to eat me alive if I start trading in here. Yeah. Now we're just heading back down. Look at NAS. Are those new lows on the NAS? No. NAS is way down here at 63 is the low. Oh my, there we go. Let's see, 830. No, so our low is down here at 37 on NAS. Still an aggressive move down though. Especially when we were hoping for a breakout to the top. That's what happens in these ranges is that, you know, it becomes obvious, oh, we're heading up, and then all of a sudden it reverses. But we do have some pretty good markers here. We have a pivot point. We have a high volume node. We've got a lot of activity in that area earlier in the day before the market opened. So this may actually just becoming a even tighter trading range, you know, something more like this. We'll watch it, see if it stays in there. I suppose we could even consider the trading range to be this entire high volume node here. So it'd be something along those lines. Interesting idea that use the high volume area as our trading range. Almost a little Dixieland music here, huh? Maybe that'll keep us entertained while we watch this market. Well, something better happen soon because this stream only goes for another 20 minutes. And I'm about ready for it to be over, but I will stick it out. I mean, that is some ugly price action. Look at that. At least on the 3 minute. Let's go back to the 1 minute. It's actually somewhat systematic on the 1 minute. Could draw some lines here. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe something like that. I guess the 1 minute looks somewhat orderly. But definitely if we go by that, it's a downtrend for sure. But it is just chopping right through, back and forth on the 21 EMA, actually all the EMAs. So I don't even know that this trend is meaningless with the way the EMAs are so horizontal. For what it's worth, looks like maybe the MACD is going to have a crossover at some point here. It's getting the green line starting to roll over here, curl over, while the red one is heading up. Just sitting and waiting. I'm still here, guys. Take a peek back at crude oil. Throw up some averages here. Let's see here, EMA. Maybe a like a 105. Not much different, is it? Very choppy as well. I wouldn't think there'd be much correlation between the equity market and crude oil, but I don't know much about it. I just started kind of paying attention to it as an alternative to the ES when things are choppy like today, but doesn't seem to really be much difference. What do you think? Are they going to break out to the top now? There's definitely going to be a lot of resistance up here in the 30s. You can see we hit it here, here. So 30 is going to be hard to get through. So I don't think I'd want to be going long into it. think I might have just fallen asleep there for a second. I could pretty much chop when this video gets posted. I could pretty much chop off everything that happened after that the trade we took, because this has been just nothing. This is a perfect way to get chopped up, and trust me, I've been there. There's times where I would have been taking 20 trades just in this area. Looks like it wants to go, but how can you trust it? I mean, it looked like it was going to go back here too. And look at that. Just immediately reversed. So, you know, while that could be a short squeeze, could also be a trap for the longs. Had it right back. Yeah, there's no way I'm going long here. Yep, same. That's another, almost a quadruple high. These are like almost to the tick. And then we had one pin through it here. But it's basically all a quadruple top here. So we got to wait to see if it's going to break through it or not. But we're getting close to the end of the stream, so I don't think I'm going to jump into any trades unless something really obvious happens. Apparently, I don't even have to warn people not to copy my trades today because we literally had one of them. But let me do it anyway. Don't copy my trades. I'm just some random guy on the internet. So this might be our original range here. But again, a lot of guys make money trading this thing. You know, you can sell the top, buy the bottom, but that works until it does break through, and it's always going to break out. It's just a matter of when. And for my basic strategy, and most people's basic strategy, and regardless of any of the other streamers that you may have watched, a pullback to the 9 EMA is not new. Everybody's trading that. In fact, the two-legged pullback guys would just call that a first pullback, which they claim is notoriously unreliable, that you would want to wait for a second leg. But anyway, that strategy only works if we have a nice rhythm to the market and a nice trend. We don't have any of that. But don't be impressed by guys that are talking about these a single-legged pullback to the 9 EMA is the secret to trading. And very much like the two-legged pullback guys, they say, well, it always works under these criteria, and the criteria are so soft that you can't possibly be right every time. Don't get me wrong, it's a decent trade under the right circumstances. You have a nice run-up and a pullback to the 9 or the 21, and then you take it the opposite direction, but it's not God's gift to traders. Especially for beginner traders, because a beginner trader is just going to take those blindly, and you can see there's a lot of places where it's pulled back to the 9 EMAs, and if all you know is when it pulls back to the 9, I'm going long, you're going to get chopped to pieces. Experienced traders can make those trades better. Like for instance here, this is going to pull back to the 9. Do you take it long? I don't know. I would say that's probably not a good idea based on the activity to the left. But I'm a semi-experienced trader. A new trader, they go, oh, it's pulling back to the 9. I'm going long. So, whatever. It is starting to seem more bullish here. We got a nice channel that's starting to form here, so we might see a breakout to the top, but we only have 8 minutes left in this stream, so I don't think there's going to be enough time for that breakout to form, at least convincingly enough for me to take it. So much bullshit out on the internet about trading. Just learn this one technique and you will pass your evaluations and make $1 million on your funded account. Bullshit. The rules and all these things that you learn are important, but nothing's going to replace screen time. There's an awful lot of stuff that is hard to quantify. It's just from watching screens, and even that's no guarantee. I mean, I've been watching these screens for 2 years, and still half the time don't know what the hell I'm looking at. So this feels like a breakout for whatever that's worth. The price action is so slow. It's like, what does a breakout even mean? 3 points, 5 points? I mean, but yeah, that's a nice bar forming there. But again, we're still right. All these hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I don't think even people who play the range would want to play this because they like it to be more systematic, more of a sine wave, up, down, up, down. This thing is all over the place. I mean, look at this activity here. What the hell are we even looking at there? Nope, now see, we look like we may run now. I've only got 5 minutes left in this stream, so I'm not going to take this trade, but this is looking like it could pick up some points. If we went up the high here, so about 31 is where we would be in this trade right now, and you would be in this trade at 31. So to be looking to get to 36 only, so yeah, nice. Okay. So 36 would be our exit. Let's see if it would have made it. Probably would have put our stop at break even by now, possibly. Maybe not. It's only 2 points. Maybe. Problem is that this is very likely to come back and pick up the stops and then head up again. It's looking good. Kind of stalling here. Still moving. Yeah, I think that this could make 36 pretty easily. We don't really have, I don't see anything in its way up to about 37 or so, 37, 38. Yeah, I don't see anything in the way, except maybe some of these, this low volume note over here, maybe. There we go. There was our 36. So that was a decent breakout. Kind of called it out a little bit above this. Once we broke this high here, maybe we head all the way up. And it got to right about where we thought it would, right around, yep, oh, not quite, but almost got to 37.5, which would have been approximately, you see all this right here. This is what I'm talking about as far as resistance. That doesn't mean it won't break through it, but if you want to just take your money and run, that was probably a decent spot, maybe right below it, and that's exactly where it went to before it pulled back a little bit. We're getting close to the end of the stream. We did okay today. We ended up very efficiently, ended up with $638. 50 of that was actually technically 100 of that because I had two contracts and then one micro. So about 100, you can say 500 during the stream. And that's about right. It was 5 points on 2 minis and 5 points on 1 micro. All right, well, I guess that's about it, folks. This it's about 11 o'clock Eastern, and we did okay. So we're going to call it a day. This has been some really crappy price action for the most part. So I'll probably call it a day. If you're going to continue to trade, be careful. It's kind of ugly today. All right. Well, I should be back tomorrow. I hope you'll join me. Again, be careful if you're going to continue this afternoon. All right. Thanks a lot. See you tomorrow.